Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And I know I just finished on a three-parter about Tina Turner, what's love got to do with it and everything. And it kind of sounds like it's on the same exact topic, but it's not, but it is, because it is kind of connected. But first, it's like I've been going through basically my email history and everything for different reasons, research and, well, a lot of nerdiness, but mostly research. And also, I know a couple weeks ago when I was doing a series about job interviews, I was like, I wonder if I still have some of the companies, the emails, and things like that. And I did find one so far, but I know I probably have so many others. But yeah, it's like I found a return email from one of the companies and how they were like, oh, yeah, it was awesome seeing you and blah, 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 whatever. And so it's like, part of me is like, can I show the company's name? Part of me is just like, if they're proud, because one of the companies that I found, when I first walked in, I know the interviewer was like, you're not always going to walk like that, are you? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, like when I saw that email, and I'm just like, I just kind of wonder after the interview was done, because I even remember near the end, she shook my hand and she was just like, well, I hope you get your walking fixed. So anyone who tries to talk about DEI, if you're against DEI, you're an idiot. I mean that with all of the disrespect. You are an absolute honest idiot because coming from not only a woman, not only a black person, not only someone with a disability, but I'm all three. So I get all of the illegal questions. I get the how do you talk like that? Where are you really from? Which one of your parents are white? Or how many kids are you gonna have? Oh, are you pregnant? Or it's like, have you found your, well, some even, I remember one time, did you find your friend Prince Charming? Girl, I don't work for Disney. Shut the crap up. But anyway, so I get everything about my disability and walking. Or, oh, I remember, oh, I found the second interview. I remember I didn't get the job, and the guy, he returned, like, he called me and told me it was because it looked like your walking is so painful, and our office is so far away from the parking structure. After 3 months, I don't think you would make it. You would probably quit just because of the walk from the office to the parking lot. Oh, okay, you no good, stupid, idiotic, arrogant bigot. Oh my God. So I don't know. It's just, if you have no idea how it is or how it feels to be interviewed as someone who is all three of those things, then you have no idea. When you say it should be based off merit, it's not based off merit. People look at me and see me, judge me, ridicule me, put me down in a second, in a minute. Like, and even with America's history, do you know that in some states there were laws about keeping your disabled at home? Don't let them in public. And that, like, oh, when the Holocaust came, they got some of their ideas from America because of how awful and the just terrible mistreatment that was placed on people with disabilities and how they weren't allowed outside. And so now with today, yeah, so if you don't know that, you may need to do some homework on your history. So just thought you would want to know. And I'm going to start in a second, but when I get really tired of when people tell me, why do people with disabilities go outside? Why do they go to amusement parks? Why do they go to the library? Why are they out in public? But then they say all lives matter. It's like, oh, our lives, as long as you're breathing, for billionaires, it's as long as we're keeping them rich. As long, like, but then they don't want us to work. Yeah, because it's like they want us to stay inside, but then they want us to work. But then when we try to apply for jobs, they want us to stay inside or hide ourselves so no one sees us. And then a lot of companies, they're like, nope, I'm not hiring them. I'm not hiring them. I don't want to deal with that. No, I don't want to deal with that. But then when DEI comes up, they have to, because then they're scared of lawsuits. But now you take it away. So now it's like, I mean, even without that, especially with corporate marketing and advertising, they did not care. I've told you about so many interviews. And if I can look up the one that was at the Lions football field, because I will never forget when I was one of the special ones, because only like VIP or special, like one-on-one interviews got to have the interviews on the field. But once the woman saw me walking, like her face just changed, and she told me, "We're not interviewing for a position. We're just seeing what's out there." And part of me is like, I'm like, okay, so I huffed and puffed. It's like, and I have a disability, but doctors did not diagnose me. So I had to walk literally about a mile because that's how many people showed up. They didn't expect that many people. And my feet were hurt. Like, I was in a suit, I was sweating, I was exhausted, I was tired. And then with my Raynaud's disease, it's like I'm sensitive to temperature. So it was just awful. But it's like she was, even with my resume, she was like, "Are you sure you're at the right table? Are you sure you're at the," so I told her my name. I told her my degrees. And she's like, "Oh, this is you." So I'm saying all of that because I keep seeing people, especially on Facebook and on Instagram and stuff, whenever they talk about eliminating DEI, the MAGA Republicans, the ignorant, poorly educated, and even some Democrats who are so too stupid to understand what DEI did or how it helped people, or it didn't help me much, but how it was supposed to help people like myself. I'm so glad it's gone. It should be based off merit. It should be based off credentials. Geez, like I'm just at a point where I already know our country is poorly educated, but do we have to be this ignorant too? Do we literally have to just be surrounded by so many stupid people? And yes, I use the stupid word because if you do not understand the purpose of DEI, if you do not know the struggles of people that are different than yourselves and you're a grown adult, you're stupid. Because you could be on farmland, but you can still venture out. It's like you can still meet other people, because a lot of the racist people are in the small towns staying to themselves, and then the only way they get to see people like myself is on TV. So then they try to prejudge because they mostly have stereotypes. So then when people like Candace Owens says, "Why are there models with disabilities? No one wants to see them. No one wants to see them out like that." Repeating history. Repeating history. But okay, here's a subject that it's like, I don't know, I just had to say that all of that because I'm tired. It's like I've said so many stories, and it's probably going to take me years until people start listening and everything. So, am I in a hurry? No, because I mean, at least I know that I'm telling my real life stories. I'm sharing, and I have the screenshots of proof of the men who hate me, the men who despise all of my hard work and effort. And some people call me spoiled. Some call me privileged and all this other stuff because of my standards, but they don't understand. I created that standards because of the men that hate me. The guy threatened that he was going to eliminate himself from the earth if I didn't date him, but he dropped out of high school. Dropped out of high school. And even when I finally was able to break up with him because his grandmother died, And so then he couldn't threaten me that with anymore because his grandfather was going to be by himself if he did that, and he knew he would never do that. Go back to other episodes, I talk about all of that or whatever. But then he owed me money. He owed me money. But yeah, go back to those episodes because I explain all of that. But then his no good wife, or now wife, literally started calling me the N word and threatened to take me to court for me calling him to ask him for the money he owed me. This man tried to blackmail me to date, like, okay. But this is how you can tell men hate me. Because this man, well, you know what? Okay. Like I said, it's in a past episode. Listen to it. But it's just amazing how once I was able to get free from so many different relationships, once I was able to say I have freedom, men wanted to blame me, criticize me, put me down, or turn things around to the point where I would feel ashamed. I would feel embarrassed. I would feel like I need to make sure this works. I need to try again. I need to make sure that as a woman, I have empathy, sympathy, and compassion because he's a project. It's like, I keep hearing like, a lot of these men out here are literal, like, and they are, so many of them are projects, and they expect women to be patient enough to work on them, work on the kids, or have their kids and work on their kids, and then work on themselves, still have enough sanity, just enough sanity to work upon on themselves. No, thank you. And that's one reason I have those list of standards. Because, yeah, for number one, not going to prison. But a lot of men act like that's so hard. A lot of men act like that. And yeah, oh yeah, go back to Mr. Yeah, Lock a Key, same dude. Yeah. He was literally trying to get me locked up because with his criminal history. Something he did something, was trying to put it on me. Twice. Go back to those episodes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when it comes to Mr. No Heart, mm-hmm, it's like, and I'm going to be starting a series. That's one reason why I'm kind of doing a lot of episodes about him. And I'm going to be adding new dating nightmare screenshots. Like if you watch other episodes, you're going to see guys in their messages to me. They hate me. They hate my standards. They hate that I won't date MAGA or Republican or Orange Man supporter, whichever way you want to say it. And then I will not date any more men that's been in jail or prison. It's like I used to think, okay, as long as they're honest about it and they've turned over a new leaf, most of them will not turn over a new leaf. And most of them will try to get you incarcerated so then you will be with them so then you can't leave them. They will try to have power over you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, because remember Tomas. That's one of the latest examples or whatever. That was like about 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, anyway. But then let's see, adopting. Like all of these men, like just help me take care of my kids. They want me to spend my money on their kids, but then when I want kids, they're like, no, you're too old. Or they tell me that their kids are a mistake, so why would I want any? And but then when I say I'm going to adopt, they're like, oh, you're gonna volunteer and take care of someone else's kids. Your kids are not my kids. Your kids are not my kids. So I can already tell this is gonna be a two-parter, but it's like, right, this part is kind of the general because like it's gonna lead up to Mr. No Heart in a minute, but well, in the part two, whatever. But with even volunteering, men tell me I'm wasting my time, and it's like it's wasting my time by volunteering and helping people, helping humanity, and like doing my part to help my neighborhood or country or whatever. That is like, do you know all the times that men have called me stupid for doing that? For volunteering. It wasn't stupid of them to go to prison, but it was stupid of me to volunteer. Hmm. And then investments. In fact, because Mr. No Heart, he hated that I, like my parents, like one thing out of anything, I had a terrible relationship with my parents when I was young or until, yeah, well, I never had a good relationship with my mother. So, but yeah, that's a go back to other episodes. But one thing I did learn from them was saving money, managing money, investing money. Because and some of the men on the dating apps, that's all you care about. That's not all I care about. But do you know how many of my exes owe me money? Like the first time, shame on you, but after, like, no. It's like I'm not dealing with that anymore. It's like when you go grocery shopping, like if you can't pay for the food, don't go grocery shopping. It's like if you want to go out to eat, don't tell me that you forgot your wallet. I know it happens sometimes, but yeah, I remember with one guy, like two or three times, he kept forgetting it. And he never paid me back. I think it was his mom or father, I forgot, his mom or dad paid me back. Because I remember telling them the story of, like, yeah, he keeps forgetting his wallet. And I just remember his parents were so embarrassed. And one of them took out their wallet and or at first I was like, no, it's like, I'll make sure he pays me back. And it's like later on, I think they put it under my dinner plate because I was over there for dinner with the family. And that was the one where his sister was so cool and amazing. Like I would have just like no, I wouldn't have married him just so I can have a cool sister-in-law, but it's like I don't know, part of me is just like if I would ever get married, I would want a sister-in-law just like her. Just like she was perfect. She was amazing. And it's like like I remember we were chilling watching like TV one night or whatever because we both love murder mysteries or whatever. So I think we were watching Dateline or it's like it was fiction and then Dateline or whatever. But oh my gosh, this like I remember he got upset because we were bonding better than he like with him. So but anyway, she was amazing. I miss her. But so yeah, when it comes to money, it's like, oh yeah, and then Mr. Lakaki owes me money because he was supposed to be spending the money for gasoline. But remember, no, he wasn't. Like, he bought special candy, and instead of going to job interviews, he went to friend's house with the special candy. And then I was waiting for him at his grandparents' house, thinking he was going to job interviews, and then he would come back and he would look a little off, and I'm like, okay, but he went to the job interview, but then never hearing what happened from the job interview, he would start making lies, or he would make his brother make fake, like, decline or refusal letters or whatever after his interviews. It's like he went to that extent. They made fake, like, you didn't get the job position emails. That's how far they went into the lies. But when I say it's like, yeah, when it comes to finances, like a lot of these men, they just get so insulted. And I know, like, especially with millennials, I just read something where our generation is making the most money, but it's benefiting us the least. And it's like we are having the hardest time from any of the other generations. And that like, oh my gosh, I had this one debate while streaming during COVID with this stupid idiot called Zach up in Flint. Or yeah, he's from Flint area. And oh, and I could say his name because I met five Zachs around the same period, and there's two of them in Flint, in the same city, Flint. So that's why I could say, because you're never gonna like. There's quite a few up there, whatever. So but anyways, he started telling me how much he loves MAGA and he's a Republican also, and I'm stupid for being a Democrat. And so then I'm giving him information. I'm giving him history. And oh yeah, it's like that one idiot that I have the screenshot of. He even put threats towards Biden and everything. It's like I have his screenshots in different episodes. I don't know exactly which ones, but it's like he was Like people can watch the live streams and everything. It was either on Scout or Meet Me, but he was listening. And because like, and it's so creepy because sometimes he was like, that one guy trashed you in the debate. No, he, it's like I was talking about the minimum wage and how federally we need to adjust it and get it higher, and how it hasn't been changed in, I think now like 20 or 25 years, something like that. And Zach was like, who that like blank cares about the minimum wage? And I'm like, who cares about the minimum wage? Who cares about the minimum wage? Says the guy who has never paid taxes. Says the guy who's growing 420 all over his house and never pays taxes or anything like that. Yeah, you would not care because you've never really had a real job. Your wife left you with your child and went off to some island or whatever. It's like, boo, you want to tell me who cares about minimum wage? Maybe the people who are starting their small businesses paying their employees, but then it's like maybe people who work for McDonald's in different places and they're trying to make a wage. Because I know some of even my family members say, well, working at a fast food place, that's just for young people. Okay, well, back in the day, people could work at a fast food place and be able to take care of their small families, pay rent and food, and be able to have a car and things like that. It wasn't nearly as hard as it is now. And I'm saying, okay, maybe it shouldn't be the job for the rest of your life, but for some it is. And it's like, I don't care. Part of me is just like, like, who cares? Like, your job, like, as long as you're working, if you have a job and you're doing your best, I don't care. And that's a sad part because another reason Another reason a lot of these men hate me, and I'll get back to the money. Like, I'm gonna have I can do like a whole 20-part series about money versus men versus relationships. But I remember talking about this kind of stuff during that debate with Zach, and he was just like, "Who cares? This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter," and just like barking down. He was just like and saying so many ignorant things. He even brought up something, I think, about RFK Jr. And so that's when I knew I was talking to somebody that was poorly educated, because I was just like, "Did you really bring RFK Jr.? What? Really? Out of really? Really?" And it's like his ex-wife is black too. And so like even talking about vaccinations, he starts trying to bring up some stuff with African Americans and it was wrong. And so when I try to tell him and he was like, "How dare you?" It's like, "Where'd you get that information?" And so then I get on my cell phone and I get the article, and so then I tell him the author in the article, the name of it and everything. And he was like, "So how do you know it's real?" It's .edu. What's edu mean? Are you serious? Oh God, please tell me he's not serious. That's all I was thinking in the back of my head. I'm like, God, please, no, no, he can't be serious. He can't be serious. He's got to know what edu means. And I was like, education. It's educational. So yeah, who cares? That doesn't mean anything. I, it's just a lot of these men hate me, and a lot of men hate educated women or women that know something about what they're talking about. I don't know everything. I don't. Some of the things he was talking about with politics and MAGA Republicans, it's like I like I knew the base information of my opinion, but I didn't have the sources on me. But then with a lot of the stuff he was saying, it's like he didn't say the lasers like with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but he said something that was relating to that. And it was like the more he was talking, the more I knew he was off his rocker. And I was just like, how did we start this debate? Because it wasn't intentional. Because I remember, I think it started with the vaccinations. And when I said that I was getting vaccinated, he said I was stupid for doing so. And if I do that, then he would never want to hang out with me, because we were thinking about going to have breakfast one day. And but then when he's like, and that's another reason why I will only date men who have been vaccinated, because I thought so many men have called me stupid, dumb, the R word, and crazy, ridiculous, complicated for getting vaccinated, or uneducated and stuff like that. And it's just like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? But look at what's going on with measles right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to, yeah, so with my standards, I have different reasons for each one. And even with the education one, it's like some men think that I want someone to have a degree or their certification or a trade because that means more money. That's not it. One, I'm a sapiosexual. Sapiosexuals are based like, I'm highly attracted to like intellectual conversation, debates, and things like that. And I'm a nerd. And so, like, a lot of people who have their degrees and stuff is like in a concentration, usually they're at least somewhat of a nerd. They're very knowledgeable in that area. I really like that. And that can be with a trade, because some trades used to be college degrees. Being a plumber used to be a college degree. But when African Americans were allowed to start going to the colleges, a lot of them started going in to be a plumber. And so the whites, the Palm College, did not like that. So they then took off plumber, because they didn't want a lot of African American men to get degrees. Get your history, get your education, look it up. It's in history and everything like that. So if you didn't know, now you know. And there's like 20 other like certifications and trades that used to be college degrees too. So look that up. Look that up. But it's like a lot of men who only have high school diplomas put me down because of my education. And a lot of men at first, they say, I love an educated woman. But then when they start seeing that I'm trying to start my own business, and they see about my investing and how much of a nerd I am, a lot of them don't like it. There's like a lot of guys who say they want an educated woman, they are not ready for the educated woman. And or they think, "Ooh, that means I can stay home and I'll just let her take care of me." Heck no. No, there's no. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. And with Mr. No Heart, it kind of felt like that's what he was like, not fully take care of him, but there was like, with me, get like, I was investing, I was paying off my student loans, I was saving up for a mortgage and everything, and trying to get a house, be ready to be on my own, and secretly get ready to start adopting kids, because he threatened to break up with me if I fostered or adopted. So I was going to get my house and then go through the certification and then adopt on my own, because if he doesn't want to be a father, I don't need him. I don't know. If he doesn't want to be around after that, that's fine. But it just got really annoying when he was like, I'll get you a puppy once you get a house, because he knows I've always wanted to have a house dog. And it just felt like, I'm going to get you the minimalist thing so that when you get the largest responsibility type of things. And if you've been listening to my channel, you already know about the laptop, and or even like the 3-part series I told you about, the Christmas present. Yeah, he owed me money, but he was going to buy me a laptop with my money, but tell his family members that was my Christmas present. He was going to tell them I bought her a laptop. Idiot. Idiot. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.